Before this event even started, I knew it was going to be special. UO Forever dropped a teaser video, a tale from a drunken pirate who swore he saw winged horrors coming across the sea. He was drunk, the story was messy, and half of what he said barely made sense. But one thing was clear. If anything was coming, there were going to be nautical adventures. So I sent notices out to my guild, Vibe. Hey guys, I'm sure there are going to be epic naval battles.
Takes less powder than I figured. Guess they don't float so good. Here's to dry boots and easy plunge.
Let's get our boats up to level 10 so we can go in fully loaded. And from that moment, prep mode was on. I started stocking up hard. Runic hammers, supplies, everything. For anyone new to UO Forever, when I say butler, I mean an NPC in your house that can dress you with your saved loadouts. Leather armor, dragon scale armor, potions, bandages, reagents, all ready to go in seconds. If you're not running your house and butlers right before a major event, you're already behind. I stocked weapons, I stocked potions, I stocked bandages, I stocked reagents. Then I started crafting cannonballs and ship upgrades because I knew once this event kicked off, there would be no time to restock. Not if I wanted to stay in the fight. The stakes were high, and I wanted to be counted among the heroes of Buccaneer's Den. Day one was rough. Gargoyles were all over the shores. Absolute chaos on land from the start. And one of the most annoying enemies in the entire event was this tiny scorpion that could paralyze you with one sting. I'm serious, this little thing felt like a mini-boss. If that was a regular mob, then whoever designed it woke up and chose violence. Then there were the giant gargoyle admirals. Tough, dangerous, but manageable once you learned them. But the hardest mobs by far came from the breach. A gate opened and just poured out demons. One of them was the Steelbreaker. At one point, I saw a Paragon Christmas version of that thing, and it was deleting players left and right. People were dropping everywhere. Watching it walk through a crowd like that was insane. While land battles were exploding, Osiridon started raging out in the waters too. Maybe he was sick of Buccaneers. Maybe he heard about liquor factory plans and decided Cesaria's seas had enough pollution already. Who knows? But the water is where I live, so I made a choice. I was going to be a true Buccaneer, live and die on the sea. But first, I needed a song, a proper sea shanty. So I sat down and wrote one. And not long after singing that shanty, I got my first real chance to become the pirate I said I was going to be. I found a treasure-laden ship out on the water with players on board. I rolled up on thunder waves, cannons cracking, arrows flying. I felt bad for about half a second because the other captain barely reacted. I sank him fast. I'm pretty sure he came back to an all-gray death screen with my name on it and a murder report ready to go. That was the moment. No turning back. Then the sea battles really began. Monsters, sea creatures, ambushes. Buccaneer's Den was under attack by land, sea, and another dimension all at once. UO Forever really cooked up one of the toughest events I've played in a long time. And just when I thought I was in control, one of the most feared pirates on the Shard found me. I was scouting when I saw him. Then it hit me. The hunter had become the prey. The Dread Pirate Evolsin. I peeled out immediately, trying to create distance between me and one of the deadliest killers on the water. And to be honest, Evolsin had taught me a lot about naval combat in the past. Now, all those lessons were about to be tested by the master himself. For a moment, I thought I escaped. Then he was right back on me, our ships almost touching. I broke away again, and that's when I noticed my ping was in the red. 535 milliseconds. Between living in Germany and having so many mobs and players loaded in, my connection was struggling hard. One bad spike, one disconnect, and I'd be at the bottom of the ocean. So I made a defensive turn to protect my ship's rear from direct cannon angles, and I repositioned my archer and mage. I knew this was the moment that would either keep me afloat or send me to Davy Jones' locker with the rest of Evolsin's victims. A shot landed clean. Then I managed to drop an energy vortex onto his deck. I hesitated for a second when his ship turned away. Should I chase or not? That's how real the fear was. If he lived and reset the fight, I knew I could still get sunk. At that moment, I had no idea what happened to Evolsin. I was low on cannonballs. I survived. My hands were shaking from the adrenaline. Later, in Naval chat on Discord, I found out he had died to that energy vortex. And next time, he said he'd be ready with his usual pet loadout, the kind that can shut down a vortex fast. That's the thing about these fights, nobody stays comfortable for long. Naval battles weren't the only objective. We still had massive land pushes and X marks the spot objectives to handle. A lot of those fights happened through portals into another world, a beach-surrounded stronghold in the lands of Ter Mur. If I said that right, let me know in the comments. And if you made it this far, hit like and follow. It really helps more than people think. Ultima Online is almost an obscure legend these days, and I make this content to help keep the game alive. I hope one day you join me in UO forever. Inside those portals were hordes of gargoyles and brutal mini-bosses. They dropped treasure from strange lands, outfits, decorations, gear, and rare event loot. Every push felt like controlled chaos. Bodies on the ground, spell effects everywhere, res calls, regroups, dive back in. Then it all came to a head. One evening, the evil pirate floated over the water with a potion in his hand. You could feel something big was coming. He drank it and transformed into the demon, Deathwing. Over 100 players were on screen hammering this thing from every angle. I've seen big fights, but this was different. Dead bodies covered land and ocean. People were dropping non-stop, reviving, rebuffing, charging back in. But eventually, Deathwing fell. And the loot that dropped? Absolutely wild. Players pulled relics that hadn't been seen in years. Items that can take your character all the way to level 10. It was one of those moments you remember long after the event ends. After that massive battle, we got 2 X marks the spot zones to dig for even more rewards and deco. I picked up some great stuff. A treasure map book, a treasure chest holder, and some really nice decorations. But none of this happened solo. I had my best guildmates with me through every stage. This event lasted around 3 months, and teamwork was everything. Day after day, level after level, fight after fight, we stayed locked in. At the end of all the destruction, UO Forever gave us something I didn't expect. A chance to rebuild Buccaneer's den. We had to gather materials, contribute resources, and work together as a full community. And that part was awesome, because it wasn't just fighters carrying the event anymore. Crafters and resource gatherers became critical. There were more treasures, more rewards, more reasons to contribute, and it brought people together in a way I haven't seen in a long time. It felt like the whole shard had one mission: rebuild what was broken, build it stronger than before. So that's where this chapter ends, for now. But we already know more is coming. A new boss is supposed to hit Buccaneer's den soon, and I'm looking
Let them sink. No quarter.
looking forward to that next wave of content. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and follow. It helps the channel grow and helps keep Ultima Online content alive. And if you're new or thinking about starting, come find me on Discord, Final Boss Rex. I'll gladly help you get started on your own Ultima Online adventure. Until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield.